Hi, so in today's lecture we will be learning about functions or methods in Java. Not just Java, we will look what functions are, what methods are in overall in programming languages, right? We'll understand why do we need functions, what are functions, how to use it, how to make our code reusable and everything today. So let's start. Okay. So what are functions? Functions are okay, think of it. You have done loops, you have done if else, you have done all these things, right? So let's say you are writing a complex program, say sum of n natural numbers, or probably find out if a given number is palindrome or not, right? Let's say if you want to use it multiple times within your code, how do you do that? Do you write the same logic again and again and again? Oh, well, you can do that obviously, but there is a problem associated with it. Okay, let's see what's the problem, right? So let's say I want to simply I want to print from 1 to 10, then I want to print from say 90 to 100, then say I want to print from, let's say, maybe 200 to maybe 500. Okay, and just for the sake of example, let's remove this. Let's say from 90 to say 900. Okay, three things. So how do you do this? Like from 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 19, first this will print, then this will print, then this will print. How do you do that? Well, of course, now that you know that we can use loops to do this, you will need to write three loops: loop 1, loop 2, loop 3. How do you do that? Well, first and foremost, for int I equals to what does I starts from 1. So I is equals to 1, and then you write I less than equals to, you go till 10. Okay, you do this, and then I plus plus, and then you simply print it out, right? You simply print here, right? Print, you print the value of I. You can do this, of course you can do this, right? Then the next loop for int I is equals to, I starts from 90, I less than equals to, it goes till 900, and I plus plus. Same thing, you print the value of I. Okay, this is the second loop. Then the third loop. What's the third loop now? Third loop. Let's start the third loop. For again int I is equals to, I starts from 200. Okay, so 200, and I less than equals to, I goes till 500, and I plus plus, and again print the value of I and close the bracket. So how many lines did you use? How many lines did you use? So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So how many lines did you use? 9 lines of code. But what if I say that for every loop, the only things that are changing is this and this, this and this and this. Do you see the lower value and the upper value? The lower value and the upper value, the lower value and the upper value, the lower value and the upper value. So only two things are changing, but the logic is same. What's the logic? A right or fall loop. Whatever the lower value is, put it. Whatever the upper value is, put it, and just print it. The logic is same, just the values are different. Here it is 110, here is 90, 900, here it is 200, 500. So can we do something like this? Can we do something like the logic will be same, the values we can use whatever we want to? Can I just do that? Yes, I can do that. How? That's exactly what we can do using functions. How do you write a function? Okay, let me not go into detail, okay, but say you have something like, say, okay, you have a function. Okay, function is a piece of code that you can reuse. Okay, function is a um is a, what do you say, set of code that you can reuse. Okay, okay. So how do you write a function in Java? At least in Java you say public, let's say void. I will go into the detail, like why public, why void, and why things. Okay, don't worry about that part, but just understand you need to write these things for a function. Okay, let me show you. So public, void, and just name the function, maybe uh print print val. That is the name of the function. Okay, this is the name. Okay, print val. Okay, now listen carefully. What are the two things that are changing? What are the two things that are changing? Lower value and upper value. So you only need these two things. Okay, so I say, okay, by the way, what is the data type of lower value? It is integer. What is the data type of upper value? Again, it is an integer. So you say this function needs, listen to my words very carefully, this function needs two things: int lower value, I am not writing value, okay, and int upper value. These are the only two things that this function needs, and the function starts from here. Okay, starts from here. What is the logic? Whatever the logic is, you write it over here. What is the logic? The logic is very simple. There is a for loop, int I is equals to, now what was the logic? I is equals to the lower value, so I is equals to lower. Okay, this, I mean this, whatever the user puts here. Okay, and what, I less than equals to what? Do you see this? I starts from lower value and I less than equals to the what, the upper value. So I less than equals to upper value, I mean this value. Okay, and simple, I plus plus, I plus plus. Okay, this is where the loop starts. And again, system dot out dot print ln, print the value of I. Simple, you are done. Okay, you are done, and you close this function as well. Done, done. This is your function, this is your function. This much you have to write. Okay, now if I say uh print 1 to 10, print 90 to 900, print 200 to 500, print 10,000 to 14,552, whatever. Okay, let's write some more. Let's say 12,550 to 19,000 to 220 something, whatever. Okay, so if you do not know the concept of function, how many loops would you write? How many loops would you write? You would write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every loop in this logic would require how many lines of code? 1, 2, 3. 3 lines at least. So how many loops? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 into 3. How many lines of code would you need? You need 15 lines of code. But once you have the function, you don't need these much of code. Now that you have this function, we can just simply reuse it. How do you reuse it? You just write, okay, let's write it with some different color. Okay, you just say print val, just write the upper value, just write the lower value and upper value. Say I am saying from 50 to 60, and I close the bracket. Let's say I am writing print val, say I am writing something as 12,550 to say 17,225. Okay, close the bracket. Okay. And you can just say for these of the things you can say print val 200 to 500. You can say print val 10,000 to 14,552, something, whatever. Do you see the difference now? Do you, even if you have to, let's do some more. Okay, print val 10,000, okay, another ink, 10,000 to say 11,000. Okay, oops, wrong color coding. Say again, say maybe, so let's write some more. Okay, just to give you a demo, print val, say, okay, let's just write this, print val something something, print val something something, let's say 17,220 to 19,550. Say 1 to 10, 2 to say 28, whatever. The point is, it will do the job. You know what will happen when you do this 50 60? What will happen? This is what's going to happen. What is the lower value now? This is the lower value. It goes into lower value. What is the upper value now? This goes into upper value. So I is equals to lower. So what is lower? What is lower? This is lower. This is lower. So I is equals to 50. I less than equals to upper. What is upper? What is upper? What is upper? It is this 60. So I less than equals to 60. Every time it will be I plus plus, and it will keep on printing I, which will look like 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, dot 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 dot, dot 60. Do you get the idea? And this code is reusable, meaning you can use it once, twice, thrice, again, 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 without writing the entire logic, without writing the loop again and again. Because look at it very carefully. We have written 6 print val statements, right? If you did not know function, you had to write it manually. How many lines it would take? 3 lines, 3 lines, 3 lines, 3 lines, 3 lines, 3 lines. So 3, 6 or 18 lines of code it would need. And how many lines of code do you need here? For this entire function, you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, done. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Exactly. So function is reusable. You getting the point? Okay, let's just remove this once again, and let me give you again another example. What happens in this case? What happens? Okay, what is the lower value? This is the lower value. This is the lower value. What is the upper value? This is the upper value. So when I say int I is equals to lower, what is the value of lower? 17,220. When I say I less than equals to upper, what is the value of upper? 19,550. I plus plus, it will start printing 17,220, 17,221, dot, 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 till 19,550. So it is doing your job without writing the loop again and again and again. Okay. This is what a function does. Think of it like this. Okay. Think of it like this. If I say that eat, if I say, let's say your name is Raju. Okay. You are this guy, and here is the burger. Okay, here is the burger, and a programmer says eat. This is a function. Raju will start eating this. How and what does this function has? If you look carefully, this function will have something like this. Maybe extend your hand. Okay, this is the first thing that you would do. Second thing you would do, grab the food. Okay, grab the food. Okay, third thing, put it into mouth. Okay, this it. Okay, so here's the thing, whenever you tell Raju to eat, whenever you tell Raju to eat, he will do these things. He will always extend his hand, grab the food, put it into his mouth. You don't tell Raju, hey Raju, let's say here is a burger, say here is a maybe pizza. Pizza is green. Let's make it red. Okay, this is a pizza. Okay, this is a pizza. I know I'm really bad at drawing, and say this is a roll, maybe a roll or something, whatever, right? This is a roll or shawarma or whatever. So there are three food. What do you do? If you do not know the concept of function, then you would say, let's say he is eating burger. What do you say? Hey Raju, extend your hand, grab the food, put it into mouth. Then he is eating pizza. You will say, extend your hand, grab the food, put it into mouth. Then he is eating the roll. You will again say, extend your hand, grab the food, put it into mouth. But if you know the concept of function, you teach Raju how to eat. I mean, what does he have to do to eat? You taught him. You teach Raju. Done. Then when he tries to eat burger, you just say eat. He will eat the burger. You will say eat. He will eat the pizza. You will say eat. He eats the roll. So you don't have to again and again and again write this, like write the entire logic. Don't write the entire logic. Make the logic like, let's say these are the number of lines of code. Grab this, give it some name. Okay, some name, and every time you need this, just use this again and again, right? Say name, some, whatever. So this, every time you write this, basically these lines of code are getting executed. Okay, every time you call this function, these number of lines will get executed again and again and again and again. That's how your function is reusable. Okay, enough theory. Let me give you a practical overview. Okay, and I will show you the overview with both Python, Java, everything, just so that you know that this is a universal concept. Okay, this is not something just related to Java. In Java you write it differently, but in other programming languages also you have the concept of function. So as usual, let's open our, okay, let's come here, let's open our J shell. Okay, and don't worry about it, I'll go into developing an application in BlueJ and all, just so that you know how to do that within BlueJ. Okay, but let's write a function first. Okay, say public void print val. This is the function name. Print val takes two things: int lower, int upper. Okay, this is what the print val function takes. And what is the logic? The logic is very simple. For int I equals to the lower value, I less than equals to the upper value, I plus plus every single time, and system.out.println, you print the value of I, you close the loop, You close the function and you're done. I know you will say, but this is method. Well, what's the difference? I will come into the difference very shortly. Just listen carefully. For now, method and function are basically the same thing. I will come into the nitty gritty details of what methods are and what functions are, okay? So don't worry about that. So for now, if I need to, if I need to call this print val function, what would I do? I would simply say print val 1 to 10. Hit enter. Do you see? It works. It works. Let's say I say print val and I say maybe 20 to 30 or say maybe 20 to 40. It will work. Do you see? I don't have to write the entire loop. I don't have to write the entire loop. I have just written it once and I am just reusing it. You getting the concept? I will go into the details, but I just want you to understand the concept of reusing this. Okay? This is how I'm reusing the values. I can use it to a very large number, maybe say 12,300 to probably say 14,000 or yeah, 13,000. I can do that. Do you see? It works. So the core concept is that your values would be constantly changing. Okay, your values would be constantly changing, but the logic remains the same. What is the logic? There is a loop, starts from the lower value, goes till the upper value, every time increments by 1 and prints the value. That's the simple logic. Just the numbers change. That's how you reduce the number of line of code. Okay, number of lines that you write in the code, you reduce it. Okay, it's very important. It's very important. Okay, let me go back once again, whatever you are, just to give you the brief concept once again. uh just hold on. Yeah, so what I was saying is that whatever you are passing whatever you are passing, these are called what? These are called arguments. What are these called? Arguments. So 1 is an argument, 10 is another argument. Are you getting it? 2 is argument, 28 is argument, 12,550 is an argument, 17 to 25 is an argument, 50 is an argument, 60 is an argument. Whatever you are passing into the function, let me write it for your clarity. Whatever values you are passing to the function, whatever values you're passing to the function are called oops called arguments. Okay, are called what? Arguments. And there is another concept, whatever, let me mark it with another ink. Yeah, whatever the function is taking, listen to my words carefully, whatever the function is taking, they are called parameters. Whatever the function is taking, the it is called parameter. So lower is a parameter, upper is a parameter. Listen to me carefully. When I say print val 1 to 10, I mean 1 is an argument for the parameter lower. 10 is an argument for the parameter upper. Okay, so again let me write it clearly. Whatever the function is expecting as input are called parameters. Parameters. Very important concepts. Okay. One is called argument, another is called parameters. Okay. So when I say I have a function called, say there is a function called, okay, print val. Again, let's go back. Okay, I say 50 and 60. What is 50? 50 is an argument to the parameter lower. 60 is an argument to the parameter upper. That's how you say the things. That's how the terms are. Okay, I hope this is clear. Let's get back. Yeah, this is what I was saying. Okay, this is done. Parameters versus argument. Whatever you pass in are called arguments. Whatever the function takes in or expects as an input are called parameters. Got it? Why do we need them? Already told you. Why do we need them? We need them to save the space, save the lines of code. Okay, so what happens is that generally you write your programs in a, maybe if you're writing Python, then it is in a .py file. If you're writing in Java, it is in .java file. If you're writing in C++ or C, it is in a .c file or .cpp file, whatever. But anyway, these are the just lines of code. Okay, so if you need to, okay, let me give you another example. So line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4. Okay, and let's make a copy of it. Okay, you need to use this code 4 times. Okay, how do you do that without function? You say this, you write the same line of code. You write the same line of code. Okay, that's how you do without function. But when you know the concept of function, then you write the entire logic first. You pack it inside a method or function. Okay, let's call it f. F is a function. You pack it, and whenever you need to reuse the same logic, you just say f. You just call the function. So how many lines of code here versus here? Without function, you will be writing 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. 4 4 is 16 lines of code. Using function, how many lines would you write? 4, 1, 1, 1, 5, 6, 7. Only 7 lines of code. So when your file has 16 line of codes, say the size of file is maybe let's take an example, 20 let's say kilobyte. It won't be this much, but again, let's take an example. But when it is 7, which is even less than the, it's like less than the half of this. Okay, less than the half of this, its size would be kind of half of it, which is basically 10 KB or even less than that. So do you see the difference here? 20 KB versus 10 KB does the exact same thing. Which one would you prefer? This one you would prefer to save the storage. Okay, another thing is that, do you see that this is the waste of effort? This is a waste of effort of a developer. This wastes a lot of time. Do you understand? Writing all this code manually, waste of time. Okay, so it saves time. So first things first, saves storage, saves time, and another thing, say there is a say there is a bug, there is an error in line 3, something. Okay, and you write the same code 4 times, so the error is here as well, here as well, here as well. Now when you find that you have written a wrong logic, you have to correct it here, 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 and here. How many times you have to correct it? I have to correct it 4 times. But here, if you find any bug inside in the third line, and it is using the same logic every single time, you just have to correct it only once and everything will work fine. So how many times would you need to correct thing? Only once. So that's how it saves time as well, and it helps in debugging. Okay, debugging means like removing the bugs. So helps in debugging. Okay, what's next? This follows a principle of DRY, dry. This is a coding practice. What is DRY? DRY stands for don't repeat yourself. Basically, don't repeat your code. Why don't you repeat your code? Because of these things. Saves storage, saves time, it helps in debugging. Okay. Okay. Another thing is that say you have say for example you have a massive code, and you have to write that massive code again and again and again, and it has separate logic. Say these 2 lines are doing something, and you have to additionally write these 2 lines again and again and again, something like that, and again these 4 what you can do is that you can write function within that another function. You can use it like that. So you can separate out the things. You won't understand this directly, but when I go to the exercise video, you will understand what I exactly mean by this. Okay, so let's move on. So now you understand why do we need them. This is clear, at least the fundamentals. You know what are functions as well. Okay, now we will write functions. We will actually write functions. We'll understand what are the structure of function. Okay, so let's see what is the structure of function. Structure of function is that first you have to write access specifier. What is access specifier? This public and private and I won't go into a lot of details at this moment unless and until we are going into object-oriented programming. Till then, use public. As long as you're not going into object-oriented programming, use public. Okay, we will see when to use private and protected. For now, use public. So public, this is the data type that the function will be returning. What is returning? I will show you in a moment, but public. So basically, let me write the structure once again. The structure would be something like this. So access specifier, then a return type, the function name, okay, then you use these brackets, then you write what, yeah, parameter type, whatever it is, int, float, double, whatever, parameter type, parameter name. There can be multiple parameters. For example, in this case, how many parameters were we using? We were using two parameters we were using. Everything can have its own data type. This is int, this is also int. It can be double, it can be float, it can be boolean, it can be whatever the primitive data types you have understood. Even the non-primitives can be a thing. Okay, it can be any type. It can be primitive. It might not be primitive as well. It can be string, it can be any class, any object, it can be anything. And it's your choice. If you need it, use a parameter. If you don't need, don't use a parameter. We'll see lots and lots of examples. Okay, so don't worry about it. Okay, Now once you are done, you have to use the curly braces, okay, and inside this you will have to write the logic. That's it. That's the basic structure of the function. Access specifier, in at least for here we will be using public. There are more. There are private, there is protected, there is uh, default. There is a lot of things, okay, so we are not going into this, but for now we'll stick to this public. A return type. So a return type is something that the function will return. Function must return something. Remember this, function must return something. And if, and by the way, return type can be many things. Return type can be void. Void means nothing. Return nothing. Void means the function doesn't have to return anything. Then you can have double, you can have float, int, blah 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 blah, a lot of things. Function name, just write whatever name you like. Parameter name, again a parameter type, you can have int, string, double, whatever you like, okay, anything. And another parameter xyz, whatever, okay. And here is the entire logic, and that's how we basically write a function. Hope that is clear. Now we will be writing a lot of functions in J shell first. After writing a lot of functions inside J shell, we'll go to BlueJ. We will explore how to write within BlueJ. Got it? And how to write up like a literal proper class and like literal proper functions, methods, everything. Got it? Okay. All right. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, we have used this concept as well. DRY, don't repeat yourself, right? Okay. Let's go with this sum of n natural numbers. Let's try to write a function for this. Okay, let's go back to our JSON. Okay, before JSON, let's whiteboard it. Oh, sorry, blackboard it. So this is a blackboard. So how would you write a function? How would you write a function? So basically what I want, think outside then in. What do I want? Whenever you are writing a function, think like this. What do you want? So what I want is, I want to have a function that can take any integer, um okay, and then like say it returns some integer, returns some, okay, this is what I want to look like, what this looks like. And what do I want to do? Basically what I want to have is that it will calculate the sum of n natural numbers, so 5, right? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. That's what I want. If I say function of 10, what I would want is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10. Do you see the all it is changing is the value, but the logic is same. What is the logic? Okay, think about it. What is the logic? Okay, there is a loop. Do you see there is a loop? The loop starts at 1 and goes till whatever the value user gives. Is that clear? Loop starts at 1, goes whatever the value user gives, that is 10, and every time it adds something. If you have watched my previous lectures on loops, exercise videos, I have already shown you how to calculate the sum of n natural numbers. If you do not remember, go through it once again. It was probably in the first lecture itself, or maybe the second lecture, I don't remember. Just go through the exercise videos once again if you want to clarify it. But anyway, this is what I want. Okay, how do I implement it? So then what is the logic? I mean, how do I write the function? What is the logic anyway? Logic is user will give something. Let's write the function directly. Public void, oh not void, okay, let's first write void. Okay, void, let's write the function name is that sum n, sum n. Okay, this is the function name. It is expecting a parameter, and this is an integer, right? I am expecting an integer parameter. Let's call it int. This is the data type of the parameter that I'm expecting, correct? This is an integer, this is an integer, this is the data type of the parameter I'm expecting. Let's keep the name of the parameter as n, or maybe short form n. Probably this works. Yeah, okay, great stuff. Public void sum n. Okay, now what do? I have to add all the, I have to, like, every time I loop in, I have to add the number again and again. How do I do that? This is very simple. If you have gone through all my loop videos, just take a integer, say sum. This is the integer variable. Start a loop for int I is equals to, I starts at 1, right? I starts at 1. So I starts at 1. I less than equals to, I goes till whatever the user gives him. The user is giving in n. So I less than equals to n. I plus plus. So I starts from 1, goes till whatever the user has provided. And every single time, what it will do is that it will add the value of I to sum. So basically, sum plus equals to I. Okay. Once you are done, simply print I, and you are done. I mean, of course, outside the loop I'm talking about. I'm talking about outside the loop. Okay. Print I, and you are done. Just close the function. That's it. That's it. So look at this again carefully. I said public void. That's why it will work. Okay, because it is not returning anything. Void, what is the return? This is called the return type. Go back to the function. This is the return type. Return type, if it is void, then it doesn't have to return anything. In fact, it cannot return anything. Remember that. Okay, let's go back and write a function directly. Okay. Okay, this is our JShell. Let's write a function. Public void, what was the name? Sum n. Okay, what is the parameter that it is expecting? It is expecting a int n. Okay, great. What is the logic? You have an integer variable called sum, and you start from for int I is equals to, I starts at 1, I less than equals to, I goes till n. Every time I is incremented by 1, and every single time the loop iterates, whatever the value of I is added to sum, and you close the loop. Now you say system.out.println sum, and you are done. Close the function. Oh, you have to oh lol, you have to initialize the value first. Okay, let me do that. Sorry, my bad. You cannot do any operation on something without initializing, right? Anyway, yeah, now it is good. This is done. Okay, let's try using it. Say sum n 5. What would I get? 15. How it is working? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. It is 15. If I say sum 10, 55. If I say sum 20, 210. If I say sum 30, 460. If I say sum 100, 550. Sum 200. Okay, so it is working. This is the basic concept of function. But see, there is a problem with this thing. Problem is that it is not returning anything. What do I mean? Say if I have a variable, okay, I want to store whatever the value I am getting. Say I want to say int x is equals to sum of n, and I want to say 5. So I would expect, what would this give? This would give 15, correct? This would give 15. So basically x would have 15, right? That's what you're expecting. But no, it won't happen. Why? What was the return type of the function? The return type of the function was void. It is not returning anything. It is not returning anything to this variable. Okay, do you see here? It is not it is just printing. It is just printing. It is not returning anything back to x. If I want to return, what would I do? I would rewrite the function. I would rewrite the function like this. I would rather say public int. What is the return type? Int. Now if I try to just do this, if I just try to do this and hit enter, it won't work. What would you say? What would it say? It will say missing return statement. Why? Because I said the function will return an integer. Is the function returning something? No, it is just printing. It has to return back something. How do I do that? You can keep print, of course. You can keep print. That's your choice. But anyway, I'll just remove it. You will have to write a return, and you have to write sum. It will return the value. There is a subtle difference. Did you see it worked this time? So what's happening now? If I just say sum n, okay, if I just say sum n 5, did you see this? Did you see this? This is not printing. This is not simply printing. This was printing. Okay, do you see the difference? This was printing just 15. But what is this? This is literally returning a value. Say if I say int x is equals to sum of n 5. If I do this, do you see this? Do you see this? This function is actually returning the value of sum to this variable. Now I can do all sort of things with this. I can say x multiplied by 2. What would I get? I would get 30. Why? X has 15. Where did this 15 come from? This came from this function, right? This returned, right? And now I can do whatever the hell I want to do, right? I can say system.out.print ln simply x, or I can say hello x. I can do that. I can I'd probably multiply x by 20, 10 probably. Hello 150. I can play around with the value. So what's happening here? What's happening here? Okay, I'll show you what I mean. Okay, what is the advantage of doing this? I can just use void every single time. What? Let me show you clearly. Okay, let me take a screenshot quickly. See, I am taking time to slowly build up things. I'm not rushing it. Okay, the slower you go, the better it is, because these are critical things. Okay, these are not Java specific, these are literal programming specific. Okay, let me paste here. Oh wow, this is too big. Okay, let's understand what is happening here. So this is our function. When I say int x is equals to sum and 5, what happens? This 5 goes as an argument to the parameter n. What happens then? Whatever the logic is, it happens anyway, and it returns the sum to what? To wherever it was called, right? Basically, this thing will be returned back to this line only. This line only will return. So basically, when you do this sum and 5, this will be replaced by 15. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. So basically, it will say int x is equals to 15 if you see this correctly. Do you see this? Do you see this? It is returning the value. It is very important. It is returning the value back to x. That is the concept of return statement. Okay, and why do you need it? You can always write void. Okay, you can always write void. But here's the thing. Okay, let me go back once. And let's go back to JShell. So this is our summon, and let's create another thing. Let's say public void summon 2, something like that, and of course it will not return anything. Let's just print it. Let's just print the value system.out.println, and yeah, you just print the value of sum. Okay, that's it. So you have n and n2. What's the difference? Let's understand. So if I'm using n2, the void one, right, and I'm calling 5, it will give me 50, but I cannot store it. If I need the value again, I have to call the function once again. If I need the value again, I have to call the function once again. Are you getting it? Let me show you quickly. Again, let me take a screenshot of this thing. Let's go back. Let's paste it. Let me show you why there are certain use cases. Okay, now look at this. Do you agree that every time you write this thing, the entire thing executes in the CPU? In the CPU of your computer, these lines are getting executed. So every time you need a value of say the same value, okay, n2 of 5. Okay, let's say you are using a for loop. Okay, for I starts at 1 and then I goes till 10 and I plus plus. Okay, and you are calling something sum n2 5. You are calling the same value. You know what will happen? This entire line of code will execute how many times? 10 times. 10 times. Do you understand that? It will affect your CPU. It will run 10 times on the CPU. This entire code thing. This entire here how many times it is running? 1 time, 2 time, 3 time. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This 5 line of code are executing 1, 2, 3. 3 times it is executing on your CPU, which is affecting your performance. What you can do on the other hand, why don't you store it somewhere? Are you getting my point? If you really need it 3 times, just store it. Just return something. Just return it and then store it in X or Y or something. Let me give you the demo. On the contrary, when we are using, say, int x is equals to sum n 5. I mean, I'm using this version. this version, it is returning the sum. Okay, and boom, x is 15. Now every time I need the sum of 5 natural, I don't need to call this. I don't need to do this. I already have the value stored within x. I can just say x. I'll get 15. I'll get 15. Do you see the difference? Do you see the difference? In this case, what happens is that, let me clear it out once again. Again, let me take a screenshot. Okay, let's go back. My goal is not to just teach Java. My goal is to make you understand what's going on within the computer. So, you, okay, now say this very carefully. This is returning, okay. Again, you have the CPU. You have the CPU, right? And you have the RAM. You have the RAM. Whatever variables you are using is inside this. Remember that, okay? So what are you doing? When the first time you say sum n of 5 numbers, these line of code execute on the CPU only one time. Only one time. How many lines? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lines of code. It gets executed on the CPU. Okay? Then you store the value inside a variable called x. So there is a variable called x that is present inside your RAM, and it has 15. Next time you need to use the value of 5 natural number, you just call x. These code won't have to run again on your CPU. Why? It is already there in your RAM. Just use it now. Just use it again. Just use it again. Just use it again. That is why we need return statement. It returns something. Okay. Hope that is clear. That makes sense. Let's write some simple, very simple functions. I guess I would make another part of it because since this is getting a little bit long, and oh wow, it is almost 1 hour. Okay, no worries, I'll make another part for this. Okay, so in that part I talk more about, you know, probably this package and static and non-static and probably those things. What's important over here is that what functions do. Okay, so let's go back and write some very simple functions. Okay, let's write a function again. uh, Public, no, not void, let's use the return type. Public int, let's call it what? Public int adder. It takes two things, int x, int y. Int y, it takes two things, and as the name suggests, just returns x plus y. Will this work, by the way? Yes, this works. And what it would do, if I say adder 5 10, it will add things. But anyway, it doesn't make sense. You can either way do 5 plus 10 and get the job done, right? So why use it, right? I know this is a stupid function, I mean, but yeah, I'm just showing that this works. I can do something like 56. It works. What are these? These are the arguments. What are the parameters? First parameter x, second parameter is y. Okay, these are some very basic functions. Now let's write another function. Let's say I would do something. Okay, let's write another last function, then we will finish the video probably. Okay, oh, I should show you the blue jay one as well probably. Yeah, then I can close the video probably. Let's see. So the first things first, what do you want? What do you want. Think of it like a software engineer. What do you want? You want something. What I want is that I will have a function. I will pass in three things. I'll pass in a number, I'll pass in another number, and I will pass in say 1. Okay, say 1. What it would do, or 1, or 1, say, for what I wanna say is that 1 is for addition, 2 is for, so if you have done my that, you remember switch case, I'm doing the same thing. I'm literally going to use the switch case thing. If you have done it, you will remember. Add, subtract, third is multiply, fourth is divide. Okay, and I can add a fifth, which is mod. You can do all sort of things. Okay, but anyway, let's just stick to only 4. Okay, division. Okay, let's add 5, mod. Okay, so 1 is for add operation. What it would do, 3 plus 10, it would give 13. The same thing if I do say 2 2 2, what would do, what is 2? 2 means subtraction. It would give 2 minus 2 equals to 0. If I say 4 comma 6 comma 3, what it would do, 3 means multiply operation. It would say 4 into 6, 4 6 is 24. Okay, you getting the point, you getting the point. If I say say 10 comma 5 by 4 comma 4, what it would do, 4 stands for division. It would give 10 divided by 5, 5 2s are 10, it would give you 2. This is something that I want to do. What is the logic? Logic is very simple. You write a function that will return something. So the function would basically look something like this. Public int, because it would return something, and that would probably be an integer. But again, this is a division thing. I don't want to take risks. So say it will return something double, because see, it's division, right? It won't give you 2, it might give you 2.0, it might give you 2.5, something like that. So public double um calculate, whatever, or maybe calcu. Okay, this is fine. Double calci. It would take three things. What are the three things? um int int say first, int first. Oh, okay, this is bad. Say int x, int y, and int operation. Okay, these are the three things that this needs. Okay, and what is the basic logic? The basic logic is very simple. I would just use a case. Okay, if case 1, then you probably, yeah, you return x plus y. If case 2, you return x minus y, and so on. Okay, got it? Cool. Let's write the function. Okay, how do I do it? So I would say public double cal, and first thing is x, second thing is y, third thing is operation. Okay, you need this. What is the basic logic? The basic logic is very simple. You're gonna say yeah, switch operation case 1, I mean, if the user gives you 1, then you're gonna return uh, x plus y, right? Break, break. Case 2 is return x minus y. Break. Case 3, return x multiplied by y. Break. Case 4, what is happening? Case 4, return uh, x divided by y. And finally, break default. Default is the default case. Return -1 or something. 1.0. By the way, remember we are using double. You cannot do minus, just return -1. You have to return -1.0 because we have to return double. Remember that. Okay. Let's try do this. Let's see what happens. And yeah, that's it. That's our function right there. Oh, I didn't close the function. Okay. Oh, my silly. I forgot semicolon. Okay. Yep. Oh, okay. I have to return it only once. Let me check. Okay, I realized my mistake. This is saying unreachable code because once it is returned, it will never come back anyway, right? So why am I putting break? Break is to break the flow, right? Break is to break the flow. But in this case, it is a function. It is a function. It is not just any random switch case statement. It is within a function. So if it is returning something, how can it even come back and break, and then it cannot happen, right? So there are two ways to fix this thing. First way is, of course, just to remove these things. Yeah, correct. Like that. Remove this as well. This makes our code even more simple. Yeah, that's it. Okay, you can do that. And this will work perfectly if I show you calci, say 10, 5, and operation 1. What do I get? I get 15.0. How? 10 plus 5 is 15. And we are doing an add operation. We can do that. Of course, we can do that. But another way, if you really want to do it like this, is that you have to, oops, not this. Okay, I have to rewrite this again. Okay, cool. Okay, let's rewrite this. If you really want to do this, what you can do instead, is like a int result or something. And yeah, I mean, oh, of course, take a double. Okay, take a double result, and then you do the calculation. Then you say switch operation operation. Then you start your thing. Then you can do okay. Then you can say case 1 result is equals to x minus y, x plus y, sorry, x plus y. Then you can do break. Then you can do case 2 result equals to x minus y. Break. Case 3 result equals to x multiplied by y. Oopsie, break. Case 4, result equals to x by y, and break, break, and default is result is equals to minus 1.0, and we are done. You can do it like that also. Once the switch case is done, you can say return result, and this would work. Yeah, even this would work, whatever you like. You can either use this or this, anything works, whatever you like, and this works perfectly fine. I would rather go with the second one. Oops, not the SDF one. So yeah. I'd rather go with this thing because this is more short. So anyway, it does the job. Maybe 4 comma 2 comma 4, what it would do, or 2.0, 4 divided by 2. So you created a calculator. Do you imagine? You created a calculator, like a little function of calculator. So these are the crazy things that you can do with function. So why is it always showing up as a method rather than a function? You cannot see anything like function or something over here. Why is it so? Well, now I'll show you why. So this is J shell, that's why you are not able to see the entire thing. Okay, but let me open BlueJ for you. Where is BlueJ? Let me open BlueJ. Yeah, okay. So inside BlueJ, if I say okay, this is a thing. Let me just remove whatever there is over here. Or not this thing. I need this. I remove this. Yeah, perfect. Very importantly, when you are writing Java, properly writing Java, you have a class, you have the main method, you have the main method. Did you hear my word? That is the reason whenever you are writing function in Java, actually it is not even appropriate to say that you are writing function in Java. Java is an object oriented language. In object oriented language, there is no concept of function. Let me be very clear once again. In object oriented language, there is no concept of function. It's a method. Why is it so? You will get to know when we come to the section of object oriented programming. For now, just know this. There is no concept of function in Java. It's method. Yeah, of course it does almost the same thing, but even then also. What is the static, non-static? I will probably make another video where I would explain these things. But basically the thing is that public, um say another static int, maybe sum of n, okay, and you do something, right? Maybe int n, basically. Let's say you're just printing things, okay? You're just printing, not even sum, okay? Just, you remember the print val function that we just use? Print val. Yeah, right. If I do this, if I try to do this, so for int I, say I equals to 1, I goes till I less than equals to n, I plus plus, whatever, right? I can say system dot out dot print ln I. And if I want to use this thing over here, okay, what's wrong here? Yeah, of course, I'm missing a return statement, correct. So I need to return, because the return type is int, I have to return the integer. So how do I do that? I cannot do it like this, right? How can I return for every single thing? Let me do it, do it for the sum n only. Sum of n, and basically I have a int of sum which is equals to 0, and every time whatever the loop is, it basically does sum plus equals to 1. Whatever we did last time, right? So return sum, and we are good. How do I use this? How do I use this within this main method? I will go into detail how you use it, but for now just understand if it is a static function, sorry, static method. See, in Java there is no concept of function. It's always a method. So how do you use it? You say sum of. Can you use it directly? Oh, let's see. Let's see. Sum of n, say 5. Can you store it in x? Int x is equals to this. Can you do it? And probably system dot out dot println x. Okay, let's try compiling this. Class compiled, no syntax error. So if I try to run this, okay, let's run this. Run. See, now there are two things, but run the main. Okay, whatever you are running, whenever you working with Java, your main focus is not the of no matter how many functions it is there. Your main focus is this main. So run this. Wow, it is not working. Did I do something wrong? Oh, lol. I'm adding one. Damn it. Yeah, okay. Save this. Now this shall work. Compile. Compiled successfully. Or run it. Yeah, 15. It is working, right? So here is the thing. When you're writing in Java, you have a class. Okay, you have a class. Within that class, you have multiple methods, not functions. Java cannot have functions. But when you're using Python, okay, let me give you Python. What would Python look like? Let me show you. Okay, Visual Studio Code. Oh, anyway, Python is there, right? Okay, cool. Let's close all this. I don't need anything. These things. Close. Yeah, okay. Let's open a few things. Say I have uh test.py, which is a Python file, and I have a test.java, which is a Java file. Now, what's the difference? The difference is that in Python, if you have to write a function, you can do it like this. You can do it like this. Def sum of n takes anything. I mean, in Python, you don't have to define that, okay, this is a public or this is a static or this is integer. In Python, there are no concept of data types. That's right. But anyway, it is basically the same thing. So for every single time, it will have an integer variable, say sum, which will be initially 0. Oh, there are no semicolons in Python as well. And then you start the for loop for I in range. That's why we write a for loop in Python. Okay, range till whatever the user gives. Okay, why n plus 1? Because in Python this is the case. Okay, whatever the user gives, it goes one less, so I have to exact it. That's why. Anyway, and every single time sum plus equals to I, and we are done. And return sum. Okay, we are done. If I want to call this function, I would just say print, or maybe I do it like this: x is equals to sum of n 5, and I would print this x. Okay, let's run this. Python test.py. Oops, Python 3 test.py. 15. So it is working. Okay. This is a function. This is a function. But in this case, you must do something like this. You must do something like this. Public class test. Within this public static void main string args. This is common, right? This is the basic structure of Java. Within this, you have your method public static int sum of n, which will take an integer n. Starts, there is a sum, initialize it at 0. What's happening here? Yeah, I'm returning. Okay, for int I is equals to 1, I less than equals to I less than equals to n, I plus plus. Every time it loops in, sum plus equals to I, and ultimately it return sum. And I have to call this, I have to say int x is equals to sum of n is basically 5, and then I can print it. Of course I can print it system.out.println x. Okay, that's how you do it. Do you see the difference? Do you see the difference? Here you don't need a class. You can just write a bunch of code and make a function. Here you cannot do it. You have to write a function. Within the function you can write your you have to write an entire class. Inside that entire class you can write your function. That is the difference. That is why this summon is a function, but this summon is not a function, it is a method. Am I clear? Am I making myself clear? This is the thing. Okay, that's why this is a method. All right, can I have a method in Python? Yeah, of course you can have. You can of course have a class and you can have write test, and then you can do that. Then you can say something like this, def or you can do that something like this. If you really want to copy static method def, I will write literally the same thing. Okay, I will save this. Now if I want to use this method, this summon method, I would say test dot summon, and I would say 15. Okay, let's comment it out. I don't need this thing. Okay. Let's print it out. Oh, sorry, not 15, 5, right? For 5, would it work? Print, let's print it. Yeah, it is working. So now this is a method. Okay, why is this a method? Because this is within a class. A function within a class is a method. Now what is a static method, what is a non-static method, I will come into that later. But for now, understand, if you write a function within a class, it is no longer a function, it is a method. If you write a function outside of a class, literally outside of a class, then it is called a function. The same thing happens in C++ as well. Okay, in C++ you can have class, and within class you can have methods, just like Python, and those are methods. But you can literally write functions as well in C++. I'm not going into that detail, but you can do that. But in Java there is no way you can write function, like literal function. It is called a method. Okay, so that is it. That's all for this video, guys. I know this video is long, but in the next video we'll be seeing these few things: how to import from other class. Let's say you write a function, how to import it. Then we will understand the exact thing about static and non-static method, how to use what, when to use what. Okay, and then we can kind of touch on package. Okay, these are not yet done, these are remaining. Okay, so what are done, this is done. What are pending? So scope of variable is pending. We will look into this scope. What is the scope of a variable? Okay, we will look into that. And of course, this is also done, by the way. Function versus methods, this is done. Static and non-static method, we will look into this. And finally we'll go for packages, and we are done. That's about it. See you in the next video. Bye bye.